Welcome to English Podcasts. Relax and enjoy your listening practice.
We are used to thinking of the heart as a simple mechanical pump. It beats, it moves blood, and it keeps us alive. But modern science shows that the heart is far more complex and intelligent than we once believed. Today, I'd like to take you on a short journey inside the human heart and share 5 fascinating facts that might completely change the way you think about it. Let's start with something truly surprising. The heart has its own nervous system. Inside the heart, especially in the atria and around the large blood vessels, there is a dense network of neurons and nerve clusters. Scientists often call this network the little brain of the heart. It helps regulate heart rhythm and controls both mechanical and electrical activity. This system constantly adjusts the heartbeat in response to stress, physical exercise, inflammation, and even reduced blood flow. What makes this even more remarkable is that the heart's nervous system can function independently from the brain. This is exactly why a transplanted heart continues to beat inside a new body. The heart doesn't just wait for commands, it can make decisions on its own. Now, let's talk about how the heart changes with age. And here's something many people don't realize. Men's and women's hearts age differently. As we grow older, structural changes happen in everyone's heart, but the pattern of these changes often depends on biological sex. In men, the heart muscle tends to stretch over time. As a result, the heart becomes less efficient at pumping blood. In women, the process is different. The walls of the heart chambers, especially the left ventricle, often become thicker and stiffer. This makes it harder for the heart to relax and properly fill with blood. Because of these differences, heart disease can look very different in men and women. For example, during a heart attack, men usually experience intense chest pain that spreads to the arm. Women, however, often report sudden weakness, dizziness, shortness of breath, nausea, or pain in the back and shoulders. These differences are one reason why heart disease in women is sometimes harder to recognize. The third fact has to do with sleep, and it's more important than you think. When we sleep, the heart normally switches into an energy-saving mode. Heart rate and blood pressure drop by about 10 to 12% compared to daytime levels. This nightly rest period allows the cardiovascular system to recover. However, in some people, this natural drop never happens. These individuals are known as non-dippers. Their blood pressure stays high even during sleep, meaning the heart works under constant strain. Over time, this increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, heart failure, and kidney damage. For people with high blood pressure, being a non-dipper is especially dangerous. In simple terms, if your heart never truly rests, the damage slowly accumulates. Now, let's move on to something that sounds poetic but is very real. A broken heart is not just a figure of speech. There is a medical condition called broken heart syndrome, also known as Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. It closely mimics a heart attack, with chest pain, shortness of breath, and changes on an ECG. But unlike a classic heart attack, the coronary arteries are not blocked. Instead, the condition is triggered by intense emotional shock or severe physical stress. Events like the loss of a loved one, a serious accident, or extreme fear can cause a massive release of stress hormones. In high concentrations, these hormones become toxic to the heart muscle. The good news is that in most cases, broken heart syndrome is reversible. With proper care, heart function usually recovers within days or weeks. Still, it's a powerful reminder that emotional pain can have very real physical consequences. And finally, let's talk about energy. Because the heart never stops working, it needs an incredibly reliable fuel system. Under normal conditions, about 60 to 70% of the heart's energy comes from fatty acids. They require more oxygen to process, but they produce a large amount of energy. When oxygen is limited, for example, during ischemia or extreme stress, the heart quickly switches to glucose. Glucose produces energy using less oxygen. The heart can also use lactate and ketone bodies, especially during intense exercise or fasting. This ability to rapidly change energy sources makes the heart a true metabolic multitasker. It allows the heart to keep beating even in challenging conditions. So, what can we take away from all of this? The heart is not just a pump. It has its own nervous system, adapts to stress, rests at night, and intelligently chooses how to fuel itself. It ages differently in men and women, and it can be injured by emotional pain. Understanding how the heart really works helps us treat it with more respect and more care. After all, this remarkable organ supports us every second of our lives.